United are interested in Joao Felix. There is a loan of Zidane Iqbal. And lastly, there is something concerning Antony to start today to make his first full debut for Brazil at the World Cup. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? Rokan David is my name. And obviously, this is the first video of the day on the United Matters channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the subscription button. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time we upload a video onto this channel. And obviously we do 100% Manchester United news. Yesterday we had a couple of stories, and today we are back to bring you the latest coming in from Manchester United. And obviously Joao Felix back in the news, having broken a story that he really wants to get out of Atletico Madrid. Fabrizio confirmed it, and very many other journalists like Marca from Spain. We are finally getting sources coming in from Atletico Madrid, and it's coming in from at the Times. They've broken another story about Joao Felix, and they're telling us that Atletico Madrid will listen to offers for Joao Felix in January, with Manchester United among the clubs interested in him. So, as I told you that, we might be getting what we call a shocking January transfer window. As the story broke out, I think like 2-3 days ago, that the Glazers want to sell United before March. If you want to sell a club like United before March, you have to see to it that you back it up with lots and lots of players that are really going to see it be in the top 4 positions of the Premier League to qualify for the Champions League. United being in the Champions League guarantees it close to £100 million a season. That will be a bargaining or a huge bargaining power for the Glazers, and they need it. So we might see United spending a lot of money that they've never spent in their history. I remember the most amount of money to spend in their history. I think they brought in Freddie at £53 million in the January transfer window. Not so, but this time around, you might see them bring in Joao Felix, Kadi Gapco, and Frimpong. Those are 3 players in the January transfer window because they want to go out and consolidate their Champions League position. Remember, why do United have to go on and do this? Each and every time they enter the Champions League, they get £30 million less the amount of money they're supposed to get when they're in the Champions League from Adidas, meaning that instead of getting £75 million, they get 45, meaning that £30 million is less. So if at all you want to go out and really sell United at a price the Glazers want to sell it at, you need to find yourself in a situation of agreeing on a deal with very many players in January transfer window. United are officially interested, and you are seeing confirmations coming in from the Times, and obviously let's see what else they've gone ahead to let us know. The Times has gone ahead to let us know that United met his agent Jorge Mendes in the summer to discuss a move, but Atletico Madrid were then adamant he was not for sale. Yeah, this was confirmed in the summer. United even made a bid of close to 80 million euros to go on and get Joao Felix during the summer, but obviously things never went as they're supposed to go because Atletico Madrid by then never wanted to sell the player, and the player maybe was hoping that the manager is going to go on and change his pragmatic way of playing football to a decent and tiki-taka style of playing of the ball at the Atletico Madrid best club. So he came out and said, I no longer want to be at Atletico Madrid in January transfer window. He wants out. But remember, back in the summer, United were meant to replace Cristiano Ronaldo because they had confirmed that Ronaldo wanted to go. He had interest of leaving United, but obviously he never left, and United felt like, oh, let's get relieved and get in the likes of Antony. But obviously right now, it's a deal that he wants to go on and see happen for his team, which goes by Atletico Madrid, to find another team that is going to go out and really give him football that is going to be so much regular for a player who goes by names of Joao Felix. Now, the Times have gone ahead to let us know that clubs interested in Joao Felix are being sounded out over a deal worth around 100 mil, and Manchester United, Bayern Munich have both retained strong interest in him, while Barcelona have taken keen but cannot afford such a hefty price. Now, I believe there is another third club and a fourth club that has not been included in this story. United might be wanting to go out and bring in a player who goes by the names of Joao Felix, but there are other clubs that might come in through to really spoil what we call the wedding. Now, Bayern Munich is one of them, PSG is another, and Man City. I believe that Man City is a club that is lacking a player of a caliber of Joao Felix. However much Julian Alves is hitting the ground running at Man City and in the World Cup, I believe they need a Joao Felix. Those two players they lost, that is Gabriel Jesus and Sterling, have not yet been replaced. You can't tell me that you've replaced them in one player who goes by Erling Haaland. So I believe Man City is one of those teams that can break the bank to go out and bring in a player who goes by names of Joao Felix, because this is something accustomed to Man City. They really want to go on and really win the Champions League. That's it. If you're to win the Champions League, you don't need to rely on Erling Haaland. What if he gets an injury? Who is going to come out and really lead the line? I believe in Joao Felix, they can have a player who plays better on the right, attacking side of the midfield, central midfield, center forward, and obviously as a left attacking midfielder or a left forward. And that is Joao Felix for you. So I believe those teams can come in through and really do the needful. But the big question is, can Erik ten Hag endorse a deal of Joao Felix in January? That is where we need to go on and tackle a lot before we really send off this story to where it's supposed to be, and then we go to other stories of Zidane Iqbal and Antony. To me, according to my understanding, I believe he cannot allow United to sign in Joao Felix in January. Amid this us being linked to Joao Felix, I know each and every time a player is linked to Manchester United, that deal really gets a lot of echoing and sounding in the media. That's the mainstream media. And after that, you'll see those players being talked about making huge moves out of their clubs to clubs that are really going to come out and really give them money. So I believe Ten Hag will say, if you're having 100 million euros, get off 50, spend it on Gapco, get off 30, spend it on Frimpong, get 20. He might look in for a central midfielder or a center forward at 20 million. And in 100 mil, he can sign like 3 players. You get? He can sign like 3 players according to me, and I believe that's how it's going to happen. And he cannot go out to sanction that deal of Joao Felix, because he does not need one player in the January transfer window. He needs like 2 or 3, and he needs to strengthen his team of Manchester United in January, because he knows that it's going to be a very, very busy season. Remember, we are still in the Carabao Cup, we are in the FA Cup, we are playing the Premier League, and we are in the UEFA Europa League. We are facing Barcelona in February. That means we need to be having a very huge squad that can take on Barcelona and the rest of the teams that are really going to be playing into what we call the Champions or the UEFA Europa League. So, thank you guys for watching. It's much like button, comment and share. After that story, let's go to Zidane Iqbal. He's a player that impressed a lot during the summer, during the preseason, and we are all elated with his performances. Now, we are being told by Samuel Lucas that Manchester United are mulling over whether to let Zidane Iqbal leave on loan in January transfer window or not. Then, we are being told United are believed to be reluctant to let Iqbal leave on loan as they lack depth in the midfield that is devoid of a youthful presence. And again, the products that staff at United believe it's a beneficial for Iqbal to train with the first team for the rest of the season and then potentially embark on a season-long loan in the summer. To me, I believe when you look at the midfield of United, there is nowhere Iqbal is going to play, that's it. And it depends on the decision that Ten Hag is going to take. But if I told him Ten Hag, I really have to loan him to a particular club that I know is going to develop him better. You see, United have been making wrong loan moves for players like they did last year. I think it's this year, the winter transfer window for Amad Diallo, sending him to Rangers. I believe he would have been sent to the Championship. You see him now, how he's playing for a team which goes by the names of Sunderland, to an extent that rumors are really mauling around Manchester United that they really want to recall him back to play at Manchester United. So that is what a good loan does. And I think Zidane Iqbal needs a very good loan move to see to it that he finds a club that really plays exactly the game of football that Erik ten Hag really needs. The first team that really wants him, that is interested in to sign him in January, is Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough. Remember, Michael Carrick was made the permanent manager of a team which goes by the names of Middlesbrough, and I think with effect from next week, they are kick-starting off their games in the Championship. And Michael Carrick is in need of the services of Zidane Iqbal. I believe in this player, and it should be handled very, very well. But we all know that you can't compare the first team training with what we call the championship match, because game situations are different from training situations. And I believe Zidane Iqbal needs to go out and orchestrate what he knows better. We know his skill set is a very good player, and I believe he's going to be so much impressive where he's going to go. And I believe it's better he gets a January transfer window. For me, he goes there, he plays close to some 4-5 months, then he returns at Manchester United, and you never know, with the performances he would have put in, United will be ready, or Erik ten Hag will be ready to usher him into his team, because Fred Rodriguez is going to leave Manchester United. A new deal has been denied to be given to him by Erik ten Hag, and he wants him out of Manchester United. That is Fred Rodriguez and the manager Erik ten Hag. But I believe the likes of Savages should be loaned. Elanga should be loaned. If I told you bring in Cody Gakpo, then that means Elanga should be loaned. The other player that should be loaned, I think Pelestri should be loaned, though the manager really likes him. I've seen him make lots of appearances onto the bench. The other player that needs to be loaned at Manchester United is Charlie Savage. Shora Shoretire needs to be loaned, according to me. But let's wait and see what United is going to do on Zidane Iqbal, because a decision is going to be made imminently before the January transfer window. And you never know, he might even get a chance to play for United in the Carabao Cup, because we are going to be playing Burnley, and he might get a chance, if at all he impresses the manager, in the preseason games that we are going to play down in Cadiz in Spain. Now, lastly, let's talk about Antony. Brazil is playing Cameroon today, and I think in the next 1.5 hours the game is going to be starting. Obviously, we've been told that the Brazilian coach Tite is going to start a player who goes by the names of Antony, who was signed at £85 million from Ajax to Manchester United. Now, Brazil coach Tite looks poised to hand Manchester United's winger Antony his first World Cup start. You get it? This is something that Antony would love to see, and I saw him in the game of Switzerland when he came on through. You saw to it that the movement had improved, because I like Rafinha, but I believe there is something special about Antony that Rafinha doesn't have. The way Antony risks himself or commits himself into the final third of the opponent is really great. And secondly, I believe Antony is more clinical than Rafinha. And if Antony starts today, I guarantee you he will either put in an assist or he's going to score goals, because the number of chances that Rafinha missed against Serbia and against Switzerland are really chances that Antony is good at barring at the back of the net. I've not seen Antony missing out on very many chances like those. So him starting today is a very big boost for him, and I believe he has to go out and work out to convince the manager of Tite, of Brazil, Tite, that I'm better than Rafinha. I believe there is a player in Rafinha, but Rafinha is 26 years of old and Antony is just 21, 23 years of age. There is a 4-year gap that really bridges these two players. So I believe Antony is going to turn into one of the most attractive players in Europe. As you've seen him at Manchester United, the more he goes ahead to get used to this team, the more he's really going to go ahead and really become a threat to his opponents. Today, I believe him and Gabriel Jesus plus Martinelli, if they start as the front three for a team which goes by the names of Brazil against Cameroon, I believe they can haunt Cameroon. I support Cameroon as an African, but the facts should be laid out. Brazil is the #1 favorite to win the World Cup. With the squad they're having, you can't tell me that they are not going to go out and haunt Brazil. So to me, I believe they are going to haunt Brazil, and Antony is really going to be having one of the best games. You never know, even Freddy might come in a double pivot with Gimares to play into that midfield ahead of a player who goes by names, with Paqueta ahead of them to play in that midfield three and see how the game of football is going to go on. So what are your thoughts? On to the following: Joao Felix to United talks, then Zidane Iqbal on discussions, then lastly Antony to start for Brazil in his first World Cup full debut for the Brazil. I hand you over to the Almighty Lord to watch you. I hand you over to him, and may him protect you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later, but your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we want to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of December. Continue subscribing, guys, because we are soon hitting 9,100 subscribers. I'm out for now. Bye-bye.